Hey, what's going on YouTube? Raj here. Today I am back with a review of a fragrance from Creed. It is Millesime Imperial. This is a fragrance which I've had for a long time in a decant form. 5 ml, which I've now finished off, and thought I'd give you my thoughts on this fragrance. A very popular fragrance in the fragrance community. Briefly, the notes, I'm sure you're pretty much aware of them, but in the top notes you've got bergamot, green mandarin and lemon. In the middle there is iris, something they're calling a sea scent or like a marine note. In the base you've got sandalwood, amber, which I think they may be referring to ambergris here, and musk. So I know this fragrance is very popular and has been reviewed a lot on YouTube, but for me, I'm actually not a big fan. I'm not really too keen on this fragrance, to be honest. I know a lot of people do like it, but every now and again I'll come across a fragrance which loads of people like, but it's just not really for me. So, you know, one thing which I don't really like about this fragrance is actually the opening of this scent. A lot of people will say that this is one of the best, one of the freshest openings you might come across. I can't agree with that at all. I think, you know, you've got your bergamot, your green mandarin and your lemon, so it's obviously a very citrusy opening, but it's very tame. It's very almost subtle, very quiet. It's definitely nice, but I want a bit more than nice. I can't really say that this is a very fragrance that gets me excited. I don't think it's the best citrus notes you'll ever come across in a fragrance. You know, if you're going to go for a citrus, I would probably choose something like a Dior Homme Sport, or something from Xerjoff, or something like Acqua di Parma Colonia range, like Colonia Intensa. I think those fragrances are really good citrus fragrances. So I hear people saying this is a really beautiful citrus opening. I couldn't disagree more with that. It's okay. It's fresh, but not the most freshest opening I've ever come across. As a fragrance develops, it definitely gets better, but not in the mid. Not in the mid for me. In the middle of this fragrance, Creed have put a note in here which they're calling their marine note. So this is supposed to be like an aquatic fragrance, an aquatic citrus, in the top and middle anyway. And I see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to evoke the scent of the sea by putting in here like sea salt, or I've heard it referred to here as sea scent, marine note. And for me it's just a massive letdown. It doesn't smell like the sea to me. I just don't imagine this smelling like the sea. I think something like maybe I don't like aquatic fragrances. Trying to recreate the scent of the ocean or the beach is something which it's not very tangible for me. I can't really put my finger on it and say, yep, this smells like the sea. It's kind of a little bit, it's synthetic definitely, but synthetic can be good or bad. In this case, I think it's synthetic bad. I think it's actually quite poor. I would expect a lot more from a higher end fragrance like this, a lot more for this price as well. They call it the marine note, but for me, it doesn't smell of anything. I call it the nothing note. It's like a big space, a big vacuous space in the middle of this fragrance, which just goes on and on and on, and it has no, it has nothing. It's nothing special about it. It's very bland. It smells. If they're talking about sea here or sea salt, you know, sel de vetiver from the different company. Now that evokes the sense of being at the sea and the sense of sea salt. It's so dull. It's just unbelievably dull for me. I can't believe that so many people like this fragrance. And sometimes that happens. You come across a fragrance which a lot of people like, and when you dislike it, it can be a little bit of a shock. I was really expecting to really enjoy this fragrance, which is one of the reasons why I bought such a large decant actually. Quite boring. They say they have iris in there. I don't really pick it up. If anything, it's this almost melon citrus note which is still lingering slightly, mixed in with this very boring marine note. It's almost indescribable because it's very strange. The fragrance does then develop a little bit and get better, and I have to give this a fair review. I'm not trying to bash this fragrance just for no reason. It's simply because I'm not a fan, but you know, it does get better. And it gets better because in the base you come across this typical Creed dry down, which is something actually I really enjoy. They do it quite well. Creed dry downs tend to be something which I definitely like. It's got this saltiness which is actually coming from the Ambergris. This is where the saltiness actually is good quality, and it's definitely coming from the Ambergris, and this very soft muskiness which is there in the base. I know they say they have sandalwood in here, but I get an almost sawdusty cedarwood vibe, which is actually pretty good. I do like the dry down of this fragrance. But the problem with this fragrance is that by the time you get to the dry down, the fragrance is very, very close to the skin, to the point where I can't really smell it too much. I have worn this in the summer, and it does definitely last a little bit longer. I don't really get much projection out of this fragrance at all. I have sprayed this on clothes as well, but then I thought to myself, I'm spraying this on clothes, I'm doing, you know, 6-7 sprays, and I think that's a waste, especially for the money you pay for this fragrance. Even if you get it at a discount on a discounted website, it's still a lot of money. It definitely smells nice overall. I can't deny that. I think people will compliment you, and I have received a couple of compliments, nothing too much, but it definitely smells nice and safe and boring and bland to me, and that's just the way it is. That's how it goes sometimes. One thing I thought of actually, that people talk about Creed and their batch variations, so I thought to myself, okay, maybe I've got a bad batch here. I got this off a very reliable guy off eBay, who I've bought from in the past, but I thought, okay, let me just go into a store and try out other batch variations. And I tried something, it smelled exactly the same, and then I thought to myself, let me go to another store, let me see, you know, if I just happen to have come across two bad batches. And then I immediately thought, what's the point? It's just a complete waste of time. You know, life is too short for me to be worrying about Creed batch variations. You know, I see a lot of people saying, oh, I've gone on, what do you think of this batch, the XO1, the Z01, the A101, whatever. I just don't have time for that, because I'm a consumer. I want to buy something which is instantly available to me, whether it be in the store or online. And if Creed are selling to me something which is different from one place to another, then that's Creed's loss and another perfume house's gain. Because I'm not going to go on this treasure hunt for, you know, the holy grail batch number. It's just not my... and Creed is not that much of an exciting house for me to be going about doing that. On the downside, that means that I don't get the best variation of this product, I don't get the best batch number, so I probably am missing out. But I just don't think the effort is worth it, especially when you have fragrances like Aventus and Original Santal, Original Vetiver, Royal Oud, which I think are really awesome fragrances, Virgin Island Water, and so I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything. So overall, I'm going to give Creed's Millesime Imperial a rating of 6.5. It definitely has some redeeming qualities towards the base of this fragrance, where, as I said, the sandalwood and, well, for me it's cedarwood, but the ambergris musk, this soft dry down comes into play, and I do enjoy that, but it doesn't last long enough. It's quite boring overall, and yeah, I think 6.5 is a fair rating of Creed's Millesime Imperial. So let me know your thoughts. You know, do you like this? Do you dislike it? And your reasons why. Always great to hear from you guys. I do appreciate your input in the comments. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.